What's up everyone, and welcome to today's video, and welcome to another Monday menu planning video. I cannot believe that I am in month 3 of this, because I started in June, June 15th to be exact. We've been through the rest of June, all of July, and now we are in the second week of August. It's back to school season. I think I have my menu pulled together, so let's chat about how last week went and what this next week's looking like. Alrighty, so last week was toasty, not too bad. It wasn't the 5,000 degrees that we've had and are going to be having this next week, but it was toasty. Monday we did nuggets and tots. I used up several bags of nuggets out of the freezer. It was fantastic to dump things out, kind of get the nuggets out of the little crumbs at the bottom, so that the little dustings didn't burn. Got that, and we had nuggets and tots for dinner. Yummy. Sorry, Peach is a little aggravated right now. Sam's doing some things in the bathroom, so we have her locked out of the bathroom area, which is like her safe place, and she will not relax. On Tuesday, I did make the smothered burritos. Sam and I chowed down on those, and if you have not made those, why haven't you? I will link the recipe again in the description. Go make them. I don't use the extra toppings. We don't put sour cream or shredded lettuce or diced tomatoes or anything on it. Sometimes we'll put a few jalapeno slices, maybe a little bit of hot sauce, but they are good all on their own. But I highly recommend using the green verde enchilada sauce and not the red. On Wednesday, Sam and I went to Twin Peaks and did the nachos again. I had both the porn star martini and the lemon drop martini. You could definitely tell there was two different bartenders working, because my porn star did not come with like the little floating lime drop in it and whatnot, but while my lemon drop was like all kinds of fancy, so you could tell it was two different bartenders. Thursday, Sam had asked for an appetizer night for week 1 of NFL preseason, so that is what we did. I made the barbecue meatballs that I made on our last appetizer night. We picked up a 3-pound bag of meatballs, and I made all 3 pounds of those, and so we ended up with leftovers. And they didn't have the Tyson buffalo chicken. They had the Great Value. I baked them. I thought they smelled bad coming out of the bag. Sam said they tasted awful. So I don't know what that issue was, but do feel like that was $10 down the drain. But we did the meatballs, we had mozzarella sticks, we had cream cheese poppers. So other than that, it was a good night. Friday, I had planned that we were going to do Sloppy Joe's. We ended up nixing that, and because it was the first night of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, so we watched Ron on Maine's live stream, and we ordered Gambino's, one of their specials. We ran over and got it, ran by Dollar General, got home, and we were like running the stream in the car. It was great. It was fun. But we had Gambino's for dinner, and Gambino's is like a locally owned pizza place. On Saturday, we ended up going down to Oklahoma City. And so we had talked, and that video will be coming later this month. We had talked about stopping and going on up to McPherson and doing appetizers at Applebee's, but I hadn't been feeling real good, and all of a sudden it like hit me like a freight train about Newton. So we just stopped. I put in a Little Caesars order from Goodwill while Sam was looking. We ended up having Little Caesars for dinner. I filmed a haul video so Sam could put a couple things away, and went to bed. This morning feels so much better. For breakfast, I made biscuits and gravy. We stopped at Kroger, which is Dillon's, on our way home, and we picked up some biscuits and some sausage, and there is plenty of gravy left that we can have for leftovers later in the week. For lunch, I am making a roast with carrots and potatoes. It is currently in the crock pot. And lunch is kind of just leftovers. We had leftover of the barbecue meatballs from Thursday that I've heated up on the stove, and we are having those for lunch. So, week went pretty well on point, I think. Couple of changes just because, you know, of plans that we made changed, but it was a good week. Now to talk about the upcoming week, because tomorrow, or today when you're seeing it, is my first back to school training. I have training for 3 hours, 8 to 11. So on Monday the 10th, which is today when you're seeing it, I am making smothered burritos again. You're probably going, wow, didn't you just eat those last week? Sam adores these, and I could probably make them every day, and he would eat them every day. They are amazingly good. I use the beef, bean, and chili version of the frozen burritos. And I use the green enchilada sauce, like I mentioned, and I just use whatever cheese I have in the refrigerator. If you've got multiple packages of shredded cheese open, use them up, sprinkle them, make it a healthy dose of cheese. So don't fear mixing cheeses, right?
Right. 50,000 cheeses is good.
If I made the smothered burritos every day, would you be a happy camper?
That's simple.
On Tuesday, we are doing leftovers. Like I mentioned, there is leftover biscuits and gravy from today. There's going to be leftover roast with carrots and potatoes. There will not be leftover smothered burritos. I will guarantee that. So we'll just finish up leftovers and be able to get that, containers into the sink for getting those washed up. Wednesday, we will eat out. I think we're going to go down to Newton and have supper and do our grocery pickup then. Thursday is another NFL night, so that is going to be another appetizer night. And don't know what appetizers we're going to do. It will kind of depend on what we find and what we go, oh yeah, we really want to eat that. There is an off chance that could turn into like a pizza night, and Sam brings something home, like something from Domino's home on his way home. So that one is to be determined of what actually ends up happening. On Friday, we're going to do a meat and cheese dip night. And I know for some people, they'd be like, well, Lena, couldn't that work for your appetizer night? I will brown up pound of taco meat and put it in with Velveeta cheese, the real stuff, not the generic, the real stuff, and some Mertel, and let it heat up on the stove or in the crock pot, whichever one I decide to do. Depends on how fast I want to make it. It kind of will depend on Sam and his schedule that day, because he has been having to do some late nights with his job over the summer. So I've kind of like tried to figure out, okay, sometimes he's able to leave at 4:30, sometimes he was able to leave at 5. The latest that he leaves is 5:30. So if I cook the meat and cheese dip too early, it could scorch. If I don't put it on early enough, it might not be done when he gets home. Thankfully, that is a Friday, and so if it is running a little behind, it is not as big of a deal if it was a weeknight. On Saturday, we will get up and have some pancakes or something for breakfast, because we're planning to do a thrift store Saturday. We're going to go over to McPherson and go to the thrift store there, and we're going to go down to Newton to that thrift store. So lunch will be out and about. For dinner, Sam is making his pork chops. They are super good. They are cinnamony and fall and all kinds of yum. And so I'm really excited for those, because he typically only makes them in the fall, but it's supposed to be kind of cooler this next weekend. So he said he would make them. On Sunday the 16th, it is supposed to be a high of like 86. And so we are going to make meatloaf with a green bean casserole. And that works out really well, because that following week, next week, starts school. Now, I don't work on Monday the 17th. Originally, I wasn't. Then I was. Then I was working part day. Now I'm back to not working that day. So who knows what's going to happen between now and next Monday? Hopefully they figure that out. Because it's professional development day and the training that we were supposed to do isn't happening, is why I'm not going in now. But we bought the stuff to do green bean casserole back in July. But that was back when it was like 5,000 degrees outside, and we were opting to use the oven as little as possible. So, but Sam can put on the meatloaf, and he plans to do some work outside. So he can get the meatloaf prepped, and we can put it in the oven, and then just prepare the green bean casserole, and it'll be ready to pop in the oven when the meatloaf's about done. So that is what this next week is looking like. One training. If you're wondering, I only have one training this next week, and it's Monday. It's tomorrow, the day you're seeing this, from 8 to 11. So that should be interesting. So that is it for this video. Monday meal planning is going to become so super important, because starting next week, not only do I have to think about what I'm going to be making for dinner that night, and the simplest things are as possible, but also I have to think about what am I having for breakfast, what is Sam having for breakfast, what am I having for lunch, what is Sam having for lunch, and what are we doing for dinner. So a lot more to start thinking about starting next week, but that is next week Lena's problem. Not this week Lena's problem. This week Lena only has 1 3-hour training, and then she can pretend that she's still in the middle of July. So that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.